So right now, we got all the beds pretty much, well, they're not filled, but I'll show you. So we lined our beds with this. We were gonna use cardboard, but ended up finding this, so we're just using this instead. Then I'm just going to have this barrel filled with logs, and I'm just gonna take the logs and I'm gonna put a layer on top of each bed, and then I am going to cover it with the compost over there. Alright guys, so I'm just gonna show you. I just finished one, and I'm gonna have it look just about like this for each one. So I'm just gonna keep doing that for all of them. So I found that this full to the top is good enough to do one bed. So I'm just gonna keep doing that throughout, and then you'll see. Alright, so right now I'm just reading the backs of each packet to make sure that when I do plant them, I have the right amount of space in between each one. And then I'm also just kind of trying to figure out what I'm gonna plant with what. So when I put them in the beds, like the things that are not already out, for example, some of my herbs, I'm gonna leave space in some of the beds so that when it's time for them to come out, I can plant them with them. Because of course, like, you know, they say they help with like pests and all different types of things. So right now I put all the cucumbers along this line because we're actually just gonna do a trellis that goes from this bed to the bed behind me. So I have 4 cucumbers left. So these were sowing 12 inches apart. So obviously it filled up this bed. I'm gonna continue over to this bed. But what I'm gonna do is, since I only have 4 of them, I'm gonna do them, they're 12 inches, and then in between I'm gonna put a green bean seed so that we'll have green beans and cucumbers growing along this trellis like this. So I mean, I've seen people do it, so that's the plan. And you just want to make sure, like I said, when you are doing a trellis, you want to plant whatever you want the trellis to be along the edge of where the trellis is going to be. So we're going to have the trellis as wide as the bed, so they'll do grow. Right now I'm just tagging them, although I am going to know what this is. I just like to be a little bit organized, because I think last year there were certain things like I didn't mark everything, and then once like all of my lettuce grew in, I couldn't tell what was like kale. It was just, I don't know, there were certain things that I couldn't tell. So this time I'm just gonna make sure I mark everything so that I know what I'm working with. What we like to do is, when you see these right here and they have 2 stems, I like to just break them apart carefully and then just sow them separately so that you don't just have 2 growing, you have 1. I think I'm gonna do them a little further than the 12 inches apart, so that in between each one, I guess it makes sense when I put the green bean in, it won't just be like all cucumbers coming along one side. It'll kind of be on this side mixed up evenly. Okay, so I can show you something of what it's looking like. These are all of my cucumbers going along this row, and then the trellis will go from bed to bed, and then over here more cucumbers, and in the spaces between we're gonna have green beans. So it's looking pretty promising. It's kind of turning out the way I wanted to. I just hope that I'm not too early, but I'm just gonna finish this up, guys. I'm just gonna water these beds. It's starting to rain on me, and then I'm just gonna continue and I'll show you guys what I do. But I am just doing all of the colder crops, so all of my lettuce, broccoli, kale, celery, cabbage, things like that. So I just came out to water the plants, but before I do that, I just kind of wanted to show you guys the finished product of what I have going on out here. So let's just get right into it. Along here I have a bunch of kale. So this bed I specifically made for kale, celery, and some cucumbers. So all of this is my kale. It doesn't really look much, but it came a long way. They're growing, they're doing really well out here. Along this route right here, on this little row, I have all of my celery. And then going along the edges, I planted some, this is cucumber, and then in between each cucumber, I have some green beans. So green beans, cucumber, green bean, and so forth. So I was a little scared these weren't gonna come up because they took a little while, but here they are. And then right next to it, along this entire bed, as I showed you guys before when I was planting, these are just all of the cucumbers, and then this entire 2 rows are broccoli. So this is just regular broccoli, and then this whole second row is baby broccoli. So I'll give you a close of this. It's looking really good, really healthy. So as I told you, we did put them out a little bit early, but everything is doing so well. So in this bed right here, this is probably my favorite one because it looks the best. I'll show you. So this is all of our lettuce. All of this is iceberg lettuce, and then iceberg going all the way around. Oh, I also planted some onions here, and then my favorite here is the salad bowl lettuce. If you can see, it is doing so well, so pretty, like such a vibrant green, super healthy. Here, got my first little bug. And this is butter crunch lettuce. As I told you guys, last year I did a bunch of butter crunch lettuce, and it was like my absolute favorite. It tastes so good. So I replanted them again. In the beginning, like after like their first week being outside, they kind of lost all their leaves, and I was a little bit scared about that, but they're coming back, and if you can see, new growth. It's just looking really good. So I can't wait till they fully grow out. This is, and then along here I have salad bowl lettuce, and the rest is iceberg. And I also planted some spinach here. It's still small, but it has definitely grown a lot. And I have some more here and another one here. What else do I have? And then in this bed over here, now I will say this is not my most best looking one, but I'll show you guys why. All of this here is my cabbage. So this is cabbage going along this way, and then here I have romaine. I love some romaine lettuce, so this is looking really well. And everything's just kind of getting their leaves back, and I'm getting a lot of new growth from here. The reason I say that this wasn't the best bed is because this is the one that gave me kind of a hard time. In this bed, everything lost its leaves. Like when I came out one morning, there was nothing there, and I was like, oh my god, they're done. But I just kept watering them and let them do like their own thing naturally, and you know, everything started to come back. Like I'll give you an example. Like for example, this just was done. There was nothing here, and if you look, all new growth. So I have some faith in the garden. Like I have these little ones that were big when I put them, but if you look again, new growth. So everything's coming back. Everything's looking really good. This is all cabbage, and then romaine, cabbage, and then over there is just more lettuce. I kind of have like a mixture of everything, and just like I said before, pretty much just for like bug and pest wise, it keeps certain things away. I have not brought out my tomatoes, my peppers, but I have tomatoes, peppers, and our flower garden not out yet. I feel like it's still a little bit too cold out here, but when I do bring all of those out, we will finish with these 2 beds that are over here. And then I'm going to stick a couple of like marigolds and peppers within some of these beds as well, because again, certain things help with, you know, bug control and, you know, things like that. So when I do that, I'll bring you guys along. I probably won't do that for like another 2 weeks. I just want to play it safe. But yeah, hope you guys like what I showed you. This is our final product. I'll show you from afar. And just can't wait to see when everything is just in full bloom and everything. You can't even see the bottom because everything is so big. But this is what we got going, guys, and I'm actually so proud of it. So hope you guys enjoyed my little garden video, and I'll be back when I come out to plant the rest of my stuff.